The Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico has a large number of caves and sinkholes of calcareous sedimentary origin, known locally as cenotes. This name is a derivation of the Mayan word tzonot or tzonoot, which means deep thing, abyss, or depth. Due to the chemical characteristics of the water, the lack of light and the fine and mineralized sediments, these spaces have favored the preservation of archaeological as well as paleontological remains. The importance of caves and cenotes for the Mayans were documented since the 16th century, but interest in their exploration began in the late 19th and the early 20th centuries. El Gran Cenote, located about 3 miles from Tulum, is one of the most popular in the region for its unmatched and natural beauty, and for the fact that you are able to snorkel in its different caves. Here you can see turtles and various groups of fish. You will also live a relaxing experience and enjoy its incredibly crystal clear waters. This is the perfect destination if you are a nature lover and adventurer at heart. The cenotes have a profound meaning in the Mayan culture, since they were considered the connection with the spiritual world. This connection was a door to the Xibalbá, the underworld of the Mayans. That's why it was very common for religious rituals to be carried out in cenotes, among other rituals. It is estimated that there are more than 10,000 cenotes in the Yucatan Peninsula. Today, the cenotes of the Riviera Maya are highly recognized both for their history and for their amazing natural beauty. And rightfully so, because it is not so common to see places with such crystal clear waters and interesting formations such as stalactites and stalagmites. You can also admire many different species of animals and birds in this area. The caves and cenotes have been settings of great importance for the Mayans since ancient times, since they were considered portals or windows to the world of the dead. It is known that the Mayans, like many Mesoamerican groups, believed that when people died, they traveled a long way to the world of the dead, for them called Xibalbá. This mythical place, where the gods, the ancestors, and other supernatural beings was physically located underground and underwater, which is why it is also known as the underworld. It is believed that the Mayans of the classical period, between 0 and 900 AD, believed that the inhabitants of the underworld lived upside down, and that when the sun set, Xibalbá rotated above the earth to form the night sky. In a representation of the cosmos painted on a plate, which is believed to have been intended to contain the blood that helped open the portal to the other world, the open portal is painted as a great bearded serpent, and of skeletal jaws representing the jaws of the underworld. The pure and life-giving waters of the earth flow from the serpent's jaw, and the dark and fertile waters of the underworld flow underneath. Various mythological beings and fantastic animals were related to the Mayan underworld, such as the Moan Bird, which is a manifestation of the god of death. Some representations of the Moan Bird show a combination of bird and dog, since it was the dog who led the souls of the dead to Xibalbá. The relationship of the dog with the man allowed this animal to be sacrificed as a substitute for humans. The fantastic mythology of the underworld and its association with caves and gateways to the world of the dead was captured in the great universal work that is known as the Popol Vuh. The sacred book of the Popol Vuh narrates that before the creation of man, two twin brothers had to descend towards Xibalbá. After being challenged by divine entities to a ball game. The descent into the underworld is made up of different tests. Among them, walking up steep stairs, crossing rivers of blood and water, as well as passing through dark chambers with wild animals or thorns. For the Mayans, the sacred and divine came from the earth and not from the sky. Death meant leaving the world at a material level, for which the Mayans gave the deceased offerings for the journey that their soul would undertake towards Xibalbá. The townspeople were buried in the ground of their houses, while majestic tombs were built for the nobility, where it was common for women and servants to be sacrificed to accompany them on their journey, as well as offerings with food and jewelry.